biggest South Asian media group, Y Media.
Hello and welcome to Y Media Group. This is Kripa Anand, and today we're going to interview Jean-Louis Brenkemeijer. He's the founder and chief visionary officer of Little Canada. Jean-Louis, he moved to Canada around 25 years ago with little knowledge about his new home. He fell in love with the country and channeled his passion into creating Little Canada. This unique attraction offers a miniature representation of Canada's vast landscapes, landmarks, and diverse cultures, allowing visitors to explore and appreciate the essence of the nation. In celebration of Canada's multicultural fabric, Little Canada has launched the New to Canada offer, providing permanent residents with 50% off admission starting June 24th. This initiative aims to inspire newcomers and help them forge a deeper connection and, adopt to their new country, which they call their new home. Jean-Louis joins us today to discuss what visitors can expect from Little Canada, the inspiration behind this initiative, and his personal journey as an immigrant who has made Canada his home. All right, so to begin with, firstly, I'd like to ask you that, Jean-Louis, what inspired you to create Little Canada, and how did your experience as a newcomer, influence this vision?
So I came to Canada in 1999 and knew nothing about the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it a very overwhelming experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was, after 10 years in the country, decided to embark on this project of creating a place where we connect people, places, and stories about Canada through the art of miniature. And that is what really inspired me to start this project.
Perfect. And, can you share some unique features or the exhibits at Little Canada that you believe resonate with most of the visitors, especially newcomers, as you said?
So Canada is the second largest country in the world.
Yeah.
And I recognized early on that the majority of us will never have the means or the opportunity to see all of the country for ourselves. And so Little Canada offers the opportunity to explore and experience Canada from coast to coast to coast. So we've built 6 destinations so far.
Mm-hmm.
And we start in Niagara, then we go into Toronto, Golden Horseshoe, we go to Ottawa,
Mm-hmm.
go to Petit Quebec, we then go into the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on this year, we will open our 7th destination. And
Wow.
through 2030, we will then have covered the country from coast to coast to coast.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. I'm sure you might have gotten some feedback from all the newcomers about this. How was that like?
Very inspiring, very motivational. We've been open 3 years now, and we are 2 years in a row, we've been awarded the top attraction in Ontario.
Definitely.
And we have a 4.9 Google rating and a 5.0 TripAdvisor rating. We also received recently, for the second year in a row, the Traveler's Choice Award from TripAdvisor, which puts us in the top 10% worldwide of attractions. So we definitely resonate with our guests, and especially newcomers. What I'm really proud of is our team is very multicultural. We have a lot of immigrants who work at Little Canada, just like myself. I'm an immigrant, 25 years now, but I'm still an immigrant. I wasn't born here, and yeah, it's inspiring to see how we tell stories to our guests. But what's really makes me proud is when guests start to tell stories amongst each other and share the beautiful country.
Connection amongst themselves is what you're saying.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, talking about immigrants, can you tell us more about this New to Canada offer and, what prompted you to introduce this initiative?
Well, as an immigrant myself and
Yeah.
coming to the country, I found arriving very overwhelming and decided to introduce this pilot program
Yeah.
where we offer those who have a permanent resident card 50% off the ticket price, so up to 5 tickets. And it's kind of like we want to be part of the welcoming committee to new immigrants to Canada. And this is the
Wonderful.
perfect place to
Yeah.
see and to explore and to just get a basic understanding of what Canada is all about.
I think that's a wonderful thought, and I think that's what started this entire initiative. So, first of all, kudos to you for that. And talking about that, how do you hope that this discounted admission for permanent residents will, benefit newcomers to Canada?
Well, it's a pilot project,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that upon success of the project, we can expand it to not only those who have a permanent resident card, but those who just arrive in the country, and to help them assimilate, help them to just get a basic understanding of what Little Canada is and help them just feel a little bit more at ease once they've arrived, so that not everything is completely new. And even better would be is to connect with other guests who are in the same situation.
Well, perfect. And are there any special events or programs planned at Little Canada to coincide with this offer that you'd like to talk about?
And we offer various programs. We do guided tours, we do events, we do birthday parties. We encourage our guests to sign up to our newsletter,
Okay.
which they can do through the website.
Mm-hmm.
And in the newsletter, the guests can keep track of what we are doing. So the next big event for us will be the opening of our 7th destination. So the new part of Canada that we've been building over the last 18 months. And that's a great moment for newcomers to the country to come and explore and see another part of the country that they may or may never have the opportunity to visit themselves, and to really get a sense of the diversity and the multiculturalism, the history and the geography of the country.
Okay. As you've already mentioned this, that Little Canada, it has received a remarkable 4.9 average rating on Google. Jean-Louis, what do you think contributes to this high level of visitor satisfaction? Because in any business or in any journey, customer satisfaction is something that everyone keeps, achieving, because that is the ultimate level of knowing that you are successful. So you've gotten such a high rating. What do you think is the reason behind this level of customer satisfaction?
So I think there are 2 things. One is what I call the physical assets. So the destinations, the exhibits. Every guest who walks in here does not expect the scope and the size. I kind of say we are as large as 2 hockey rinks, and the detail and the intricacy. And it's a very tactile, non-digital experience.
Yes.
So that's one reason. I think the other reason is that I'm surrounded by a wonderful team of guest experience guides, of makers, who come from all across the different diversity of the country. And they subscribe to the vision of sharing stories about Canada. And so when a guest walks through, they are then on a one-to-one personal interaction with our team. We point out little tidbits that they see on the destination. And maybe last but not least, there's the opportunity to actually be part of this world. So you can go and get yourself littleized and placed in the world of your choosing, in the place where you have decided to call home.
Wow, I think you've made a perfect and a very unique point there as well. You talked about moving apart from the digital experience, right? And I think COVID, ever since COVID took us, all of us were connected digitally, right? Through our phone screens and everything. And I think what you're talking about is in-person, live, face-to-face experience, which I think a lot of people have been missing since quite a long time now. And you guys are making it possible. So, amazing. That's great, I would say. And I'd also like to ask you about, any memorable story or moments from visitors that highlight the impact of Little Canada. But we'll get to that a little later, till you get the time to think about it subconsciously. Can you please talk about the future plans for Little Canada, or are there any expansions or new exhibits in the works that you want to highlight one more time?
So we've built 6 destinations to date. So we opened 3 years ago with 5. That was Little Niagara, Little Toronto, Little Golden Horseshoe, Little Ottawa, where we celebrate Canada Day every 15 minutes. Then into Petit Quebec, which is our winter scene. So you'll see everything in snow, covered in snow.
Yeah.
And then last summer, we opened Little East Coast.
Yeah.
Later this year, we're going to open our 7th destination.
Mm-hmm.
And then right through till 2010, we're going to build the remainder, which is West Coast, is the Prairies, is the North, is the Rockies, Montreal. And then at the end, I'm hopeful that we can even open and build a small airport to round off the whole experience.
Wow.
So those are the future plans within Little Canada here.
Yeah.
And at the same time, to expand on programs, whether it's educational, whether it's understanding how do you make a model, how do you make a scene. Everything that we do, we try to share with our guests how we do things. So there's the sneak peek behind the scenes of how the trains and how the cars and the boats and the planes work, as well as how do we make all the little details, the little people, the little Easter eggs that one can look for in the world. And we also want to expand our scavenger hunt program, which is also part of the educational program.
Yeah.
And we have a mascot called Maurice the Moose.
Okay.
It's great for kids, but it's also very popular with the adults, basically looking for Maurice hidden in the world. In itself, it's fun, but it's also facilitates looking and seeing what we've created in the world itself. So all the little stories that we tell about Canada's history, its culture, its diversity, and so on.
Perfect. And how do you think, this is promoting in the cultural diversity? And I think this Little Canada is becoming a point of discussion and a point of commonality, I would say, which is bringing back people from different cultures and diversities together as well, right? So I think it's making a contribution in the community as well. Would you like to talk about that?
So if I look at the team at Little Canada, it reflects to a large extent the diversity of the population here in Toronto. We have various cultures represented.
Yeah.
We all wear a badge, and on the badge, it actually shows which languages we speak. So invariably, you'll always find someone on the team who speaks your language.
Yes.
We recognize that not everyone speaks English, not everyone speaks French.
Yeah, true.
So a case in point, we want to also expand all the information that we, in written form, that we in various languages. And it's a project that we also want to embark on in the future, so that those who are from India but from China or from Africa or from wherever, that they are able to read about what we show at Little Canada in their own language.
Yeah, I think it's a really creative idea of writing your languages as well under your names on the badges, because even if you have to ask someone what language do you speak, you still need to use a language to translate that, right? So
Correct.
Exactly, right? So if you're putting the name of the language there, there are no questions asked. It's clear, right? So I think I'm going to steal that idea from you because it's damn creative and I'm really inspired by it. You mentioned that you were an immigrant, a newcomer. So what advice would you have as an immigrant for all the newcomers that are coming to Canada right now?
That's a great question. For me, or from thinking back 25 years ago, it was basically advice would be is to try and find a foothold somewhere where you can start to build on it. And whether that's just reaching out to the community, to a local community center, but start there and be patient. It takes time to assimilate. It takes time to get to know people, but start small. Don't try and go for the big, I want to now do this. No, start really small and it'll build. It'll build over time. That's what happened with me and my wife when we first came. We went to a local community center in the town where we live. And that's where we built friendships.
Perfect. And if I may ask, what message would you like to convey to the new Canadian permanent residents who are planning to visit Little Canada?
I think the main message to me would be is come and see for yourself what we've created. It's very difficult to explain. And the best advocacy, which is what we are experiencing, is that people are coming here because they've been told by friends or family, you need to go and see Little Canada. It is a magical place to experience and explore the country in miniature. So I welcome any new Canadians to Canada, any new immigrants to Canada, to come and visit Little Canada, and we will look after you. We will welcome you, we'll take care of you, and we will do our best to connect you to Canada, your new home.
Perfect. And this was Jean-Louis, you guys, the founder and chief visionary officer of Little Canada. If there's anything more that you'd like to add or conclude with, please go ahead.
No, I thank you very much for allowing me to share my story and the story of Little Canada with you and your listeners and viewers.
Definitely. Little Canada, I think the entire journey, the entire experience, what you just talked about, I think it's very fresh. First of all, it's a very fresh perspective. And it's good to know that someone out there is, caring about these things, and because no one else does. And it's good to have people like you around, and wishing you so much success and so much more. And from the bottom of my heart, genuinely, and from the entire team of Y Media, we wish you all the very best for that.
Well, thank you very much appreciated, and thank you for having me on your show.
Definitely, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you so very much, John.
Thank you.
Biggest South Asian media group, Y Media.